I'm very curious about what it was like there. And can you share a little bit about what Thich
Mhm.
Nhat Hanh is like? Because
Sure.
so many listeners I know have read his books and but haven't gotten close
Yes.
to him like you have. So it'd be really interesting to know what your
Mhm.
experience
Mhm.
was.
Well, he was such a his presence was so permeating. Like, when you were around him, it was like you couldn't just rush around or be mindless because something in his bearing had an effect on you, and you were kind of called into yourself, into your body, into your I mean, maybe there was an element of, there was such deep respect for him that I think there was this like, "He's coming," of this sense of, "Let me really be mindful when he passes by if we're, in the same area." But also, he was so relaxed and at ease and free, even as he was so deeply present. It was like this amazing combination of incredible gentleness and like force and power that I had never encountered in anyone like that before. Just such an incredible energetic presence. And you'd all come sit in the hall for the talk. He would come in and it would be like this calm settled over everyone just because his presence was so still, was so at ease. Yeah. And he had a lovely smile, and when he would laugh, it would be so fun to laugh with him. He had a lightness, even as he was this, incredible scholar and could share such deep teachings and be so, just such a incredible mind to grasp, so many things that were happening in the world and relate them to things that had happened historically. And he was also a real bridge builder. So he brought Western and Eastern culture together. He brought Christianity and Buddhism together. He 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 really tried to renew Buddhism, the Buddhism that he had inherited in Vietnam. So he was always innovating and making very being very supportive of women practicing and having leadership positions, and nuns having as much leadership as monks, which wasn't the case in traditional Vietnamese temples in Vietnam. He was a peacemaker. He was invited to speak at very prestigious world stage events like the World Economic Forum, and speaking to the Congress in India and to the House of Lords in the UK and to the House of Congress in the US. And he could speak to that level of people, even we did retreats for Congress people, but he would also go into prisons and give a Dharma talk about be free where you are to people in prison. He could, you know, speak to, the humblest of peasants in Vietnam. And he had so much space inside of him that he could relate to anybody. He could be close to anybody. He could make anyone feel close to him in that sense of like no ego, no you, no me. And his deepest intention and wish was to support everyone on the path of awakening, this real bodhisattva path. So he was, when I think about what he was able to do energetically, especially as an older man, we would go on teaching tours with him, and he would be in his 70s and his 80s. We would travel for 2 months throughout the US or throughout Asia or throughout Europe, and he would give a talk every day. Can you imagine? And he would lead walking meditation for thousands of people through, the heat of New Delhi, or through, cold, windy, Dublin, Ireland, or whatever, Paris. And he would walk like, a tiger. He was just so majestic how he would lead people in this slow, profound walking meditation. But, he just had this ability to stay energized. He only missed one retreat that I know of because he got a serious infection in his lungs, where all of us had to, teach that retreat. No other retreat did he miss in his whole, probably 60, 70 years of teaching. Anyway, so he had an extremely resourced, energetic field. But he also knew how to rest, right? When he would not do anything superfluous on a trip like that. He wouldn't chat. He wouldn't let his mind go off into, just mindless thinking. He was present with everything he did, conserving his energy, knowing how to use his energy very carefully so that when he had to be on, he could be really on.